Okay, so for this video, I'm going to do my second movie review on my channel, and this one is going to be for Kraven the Hunter. Now, Kraven the Hunter has a critic score of 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, which absolutely is not deserved because it is a phenomenal movie. And it has an audience score that reflects that a bit better with a 64% audience score on the Rotten Tomatoes site. And um, I went to go see Kraven the Hunter last Tuesday with my best friend Bryce, and he and I both thoroughly enjoyed it, and we were the whole way home from the theater. We were talking about how much we enjoyed it, and I tried filling him in on some of the characters that were introduced in it, like Chameleon, how in the Spider-Man 2 video game for the PS5, Chameleon actually was the brother of Kraven like he is in the movie, and uh, how I can see why some of the dialogue in it can uh, come off as kind of dumb, because one of the bits of dialogue comes after or comes in the aftermath of a scene where Kraven and his lawyer friend are talking about how she is actually fairly comfortable with a bow and arrow because she went to a summer camp, and then he comes to after a certain event that I don't want to spoil, and sees that her archery skills have been put to good use, and he's just like, must have been one heck of a summer camp. He didn't say heck though. He swore, but anyway. Um, I thought that was really funny, and I liked how they handled the Rhino, actually having him transform into a humanoid rhino like is represented in TV shows and whatnot, or cartoons, I should say. Um, I While it was kind of cool seeing a mech suit Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2, that wasn't really the Rhino. When a lot of people think of the Rhino, they think of something more along the lines of what you see in Kraven the Hunter. Um, and uh, let's see, it was a really elaborate movie because the only reason that the Rhino got onto Kraven's trail in the first place was because his dad leaked a video of him escaping prison and killing a few guys to the Rhino to be like, hey, you should hunt this guy down before he hunts you down. And um, and then from that, um, Rhino kidnaps Kraven's brother Dimitri and tortures him quite a bit, and shows his brother the video of Kraven getting out of jail and killing those guys, and um, is like, this is what your brother does for a living, not whatever he's told you. Um, and it's really cool, and um, there are a couple of minutes where it's like, okay, that wouldn't happen like that. Like, you'd be dead if that happened to you. Um, like where Craven watches as a missile is coming towards him from a bazooka, and he actually was able to see the guy from a really far distance, like 10 or 12 miles, something like that, away, pulling the trigger and watched the uh, the the rocket was coming towards him, and then he grabbed one of the other bad guy characters and flew out a window as the rocket hit the wall, blowing up where he was just standing previously, and a bunch of the debris falls on top of Kraven and that guy um, that he was interrogating at the time, and Kraven walks away from it just fine. Like he had maybe a few bruises and scrapes or whatever, but the other guy was crushed to death in the blast, and uh, I thought that was uh, a really cool sequence. It was preceded by Kraven killing a bunch of guys in animalistic ways, um, and it is just such a good good movie. I don't see why a bunch of movie critics or other YouTubers are like, "Oh, this is the worst movie ever," type thing, um, or like it was a terrible adaptation. I thought it was really good. Um, and it brought everything that I wanted in a Kraven movie to the screen and then some. So I thought it was really awesome. Um, and hopefully, hopefully it gets a sequel, Kraven the Hunter 2, I would be all for that. However, if they don't go that route, part of I think Sony and Disney's current arrangements are that once Sony shows characters in their own Spider-Verse area, the MCU is allowed to use them in future Spider-Man MCU projects. Which, if Kraven, Chameleon, and this version of Rhino all crossed over into the MCU at various points, maybe as part of a Sinister Six plot line or something, um, I would be all for it. That would be amazing to see on, because it would be funny to see them going from Kraven trying to kill Rhino, which I think he ends up doing, to having him work alongside that version of Rhino, as well as his his brother, the Chameleon, who underwent a very similar procedure to what made the Rhino to begin with, um, and which gave him kind of Mystique level camouflaging abilities, where much like Mystique and the X-Men can shapeshift into other people, so too can the Chameleon in this movie, in Kraven the Hunter, which I think is a really cool version because usually he uses some sort of like tech enhancement to do it, like a face altering mask type situation, which that type of mask design looks like or visually is in the movie, but it's more of like a true chameleon adapting to his environment type aesthetic to it as well. So that is my review of Kraven. And if I were to on a scale of 1 to 10, I would recommend it 10 out of 10 because it is that good and and extremely satisfying to watch. And I will definitely be triple formatting it with the DVD and 4K Steelbook, 4K Blu-ray Steelbook, I should say. Um, but yeah, it was a very good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and my best friend did as well. Like I said at the beginning of the video, so definitely go see it if you haven't or done so already. Ignore what the critics score is and base your whether or not you want to go see it on the audience score or Rotten Tomato score of 64% or 74%, because it seems like critics these days go in wanting to trash on a movie, and so they'll do just that. Like, if they weren't in full on critics mode, I think they would agree with the audience score. But yeah, movie critics usually don't know what they're talking about anymore if they say movies are horrible. Another example of that I've noticed is when Infinity War and Endgame both came out, critics were trashing those movies too. and those have a reputation all of their own. I don't need to explain the positive reputation of Infinity War and Endgame. So there you go. That is my review for Kraven, and I'll catch you in the next video, which is going to be a haul video.